Hello everyone. So good to be here.
Hello and welcome to our JotaJoti Live episode 5. It's Celeste here all the way from the Philippines and passing it now on to my co-host Janine.
Thank you, Celeste. Hello everyone. So excited to be here. So good to be here with you again today. I'm Johnny from Bosnia and Herzegovina. How is everyone doing today? Alright, we are so happy to be your hosts for this live show as well, and we really hope that you have been enjoying this JotaJoti as much as we have. We have a lot in store for you today, especially meeting quite a lot of special scouts.
Exactly. So, how about we recap some of the highlights around our fantastic campsite? Well, a couple of hours ago, the Boy Scouts of the Philippines had their virtual campfire. That's my NSO. Shout out to all of you. And I heard it was full of beautiful tunes around that campfire, isn't it?
Yes, so those international campfires really bring the scouting spirit onto our screens. Also, a couple of hours ago, in the celebration arena, we had an SDG celebration together. Alright, we are now going to move on with our talent shows. Okay, so we open. Okay. Next in our show, you're going to love this special guest. We're going to speak to Sasha Dench, who has dedicated her life to conservation. And here's a video of her work so you get as excited as we are because her expeditions are record-breaking.
Our planet is in trouble. Like many around the world, I've experienced the extremes of the climate crisis that has devastated lives. In 2020, we lost our family home in the Australian bushfires.
The cost of inaction is far higher than the cost of action.
The world is waking up, and change is coming.
I'm Sasha Dench. I'm an award-winning conservationist, such an impressive bird, adventurer, and UN ambassador. Now, science tells us we have just 10 years to turn things around for the planet, to prevent irreversible damage. Now, over the last decades, we've kept on missing our targets. But that is about to change. I'm determined to use this decade to help us all meet the UN's last chance environmental goals. And that's why we're planning 5 bold expeditions over the next decade. Each journey will explore our world through the eyes of some of the most threatened animals on the planet. Next year, I'll be flying 10,000 kilometres from Scotland to Ghana in West Africa in a paramotor, following the ospreys on their annual migration across Europe and Africa, across seas, mountains, deserts and forests. En route, the team and I will capture data and conduct research in every country along the flyway, focusing on climate and biodiversity. On the ground, we'll identify problems and work with local partners to find the people and the solutions that are turning things around. This is a journey to connect the media, scientists, industry and communities so that together we can motivate a wave of action that will spread around the world. And we know it works. Something as mad as flying on a hanky with a phone on your back is kind of working. Our last record-breaking expedition won multiple awards and reached a global audience of millions. And it continues to inspire a wave of local action on the ground. And this time round, we are hoping, with your help, to break 5 more world records. We're also creating a platform to influence and inform global leaders in Glasgow at the Climate Change Conference. Launching from Scotland and ending in West Africa as their meeting begins, our expedition will rally broad public support for bold ambition as they sit down to decide the future of our planet. our future. So join us, our patrons and supporters, for our 2030 Global Challenge, the planet's greatest mission. We can't do this without you.
Hello, Miss Sasha.
Hello. Hello.
That was a very lovely video. You know, the introduction, the video summarized some of your work to protect the world from climate action, right? Now, you became known as a human swan for one of your previous expeditions. Now, can you explain this, what a paramotor is and why you do these trips?
Yes. So basically I became known as the human swan for an expedition I did, flying with migrating swans all the way from the Russian Arctic across 11 countries of Europe to the UK. And a paramotor is basically this machine, which I brought into my living room for you. I wear that on my back, so it's the propeller that you wear on your back, and you hang from the paraglider, as you saw on the video. And just for anybody who's watching, if you can write in the chat whether you think hanging from that a few thousand feet in the sky sounds fun or sounds scary. To be honest, I actually used to also be scared of flying. If any of you have a fear of flight, but I taught myself to get over that because I realised that in flying this machine, I thought I could help a lot of birds. Basically, the amazing thing about it is that you can fly at the same speed, the same altitude as birds, and you can also take off and land pretty much anywhere and speak to people, and that's the key thing to conservation, really. And the other great thing is that from the air, you can see the world very clearly. You can see the threats that the birds might face, but you can also see a long way, so you can also maybe see a pollution incident, but where it's also come from, what's caused it. So there was lots of things I could learn. I now do these global journeys, helping some of the most threatened animals on the planet. But one of the main threats I noticed, particularly on the last expedition in the Arctic, was climate change. It affects all the animals in all the countries along the flyway. So that's why I'm working on the Counter Sin campaign.
That's so interesting. Thank you so much for your answer. Amazing. As well as your conservation work helping to protect migratory birds, you've recently experienced firsthand the extreme effects of climate change, with Australian bushfires burning down your home. Can you please tell us more about this?
I will. So I would like anybody who's listening to just quickly think, if you can, of respond in the chat what you would most want to protect from climate change as I tell you this story. So earlier this year I found myself with my mum at our family home in the Australian bush, which is an amazing place, surrounded by forest and vast amounts of wildlife. So I grew up with kangaroos and wallabies and wombats, sometimes as pets when they were orphaned, and lots of birds, so lyrebirds, cockatoos, wedge-tailed eagles around the home. It was pretty incredible. And we have had bushfires before. My mum is a member of the Rural Fire Service. But this year we pumped 120,000 litres of water to try and defend the house if we needed to. And then when the fires started coming, and we looked online at just how big these were like nothing on the scale of what we'd seen before. I think the front was about 40 kilometres long, and because the fires were sort of connecting with storm clouds, the front was about 11 kilometres high, and we just had to decide and realise that we couldn't fight this with hoses. And we just had to evacuate. So we had to abandon the home and lost everything. And that is just an example of one of the ways that climate change increases the intensity of all these sorts of weather conditions which animals have to adapt to, but also lots of people. There'll be different issues in different countries. It might be flooding, it might be drought in other countries where we had bushfires. That's my personal experience.
Great. You seem so inspiring, Miss Hansha. You know, I really admire you, and so which is why I'd like to know, why have you become a champion, support the Count Us In campaign? You know, what is it all about, and how can our scouts and their families get involved to it?
Okay, so So on my journeys, I have seen some quite graphic things, and obviously losing my home was quite devastating. However, I have also seen what we can do if lots of people get together and do something small. So small things really can add up. And yeah, climate change is basically the biggest challenge that globally we've ever had to face. And we all need to work together for it, whether no matter what your kind of beliefs, your politics, where you are. And obviously, I've seen for myself how climate change can lead to drastic changes for people and wildlife. So what I'm keen to show people is just the reality of all the energy that we're burning, how that entering into the atmosphere just creates more energy in all our weather systems, so it makes everything more extreme. But I also know that we can motivate 1 billion people, and that's what we've got to do, 1 billion people. And it seems like a lot of people, but if you think of everybody that's listening into this call, if they were to do something small, and then motivate some of their friends and some of their family to also do something, and maybe just a few of those ask somebody else to do something, you can see how very quickly it can snowball to something big. And yeah, the Counter Sin campaign, I'm hoping that the URL for that is being posted somewhere in the chat. It's very easy. There's about 16 steps you can choose from that will all help to make a difference. It makes it quite fun. And you can do things like you can pledge to fly less if you fly. You can pledge to walk or cycle more, perhaps eat more plants and less meat in every week, buy fewer clothes, wear them a bit longer, maybe fix things. And basically, if we do all of those things, it can add up to something significant. But through the website, if you do those things, you can earn achievements and then see overall what difference that's making to the world. So let's watch this. I think we've got a short video to show everybody to help you get inspired.
What a lovely video. Thank you so much, Sasha, for sharing that with us. I believe you have a question for the audience as well.
Yeah, a quick challenge. See what you know, what you can guess about the impact that we can all have. Basically, if you can type into the chat, which of the following you think can have the biggest impact on reducing the carbon emissions, which is what is causing climate change. First one is walking and cycling more, then repairing and reusing items, or cutting food waste, or switching your energy to a greener energy supplier. Which of those four have the biggest impact?
All right, lovely. Miss
I can't see the chat, so I'm hoping somebody else can share with me what kind of, if there's guesses coming in.
All right, we're waiting for our viewers' responses, and we will be sharing them live now as soon as we receive them.
Okay. So I can all of those will be having an impact, but if you have got an answer, that'd be great.
Absolutely. Please make sure to comment down below on what you think. We love to hear your thoughts and your comments.
Okay, so I can basically run through. I'm hoping that people aren't going to wait until I've given the answer in order to write theirs. But basically, the main one is actually changing to green energy. That basically could reduce the carbon pollution. If you've got a household of 4 people, that over just 2 months would add up to 240 kilograms of carbon. That's a pretty impressive difference. All you have to do is make a phone call.
Absolutely.
Yeah, can I carry on or?
We actually have two comments. If you'd like, I can share them with you.
Yep.
Okay, so the first one is food waste. The second one is walking.
Okay, well there we are. It's actually switching your energy supplier, but I guess it will vary depending on families. But yeah, switching your energy supplier, and that one is really, really quick to do if you can convince your family, your parents, whatever, to do that. So yes, green energy is the first one, and replacing short journeys in the car to school, for example. If you can switch that to walking or cycling, that would add up to 60 kilograms of carbon in just 2 months. And then repairing your household items, that could add up to 116 kilograms. Again, that's really, really big numbers. And minimizing food waste if you've got a family of 4 people. So for an average household, that could be 160 kilograms. So yeah, just not throwing stuff away. All these things are really simple. And you can see when you see the size of those numbers, that if you and your family and people you know all start to do that, then we really can tackle climate change. It's a big thing, but we can do it.
All right, thank you so much for that. Now, can you please sum up why it's important to take a step and the impact it has?
Okay. Well, first of all, I can say that on behalf of everybody around the world, and some people who are listening to this may well have already had some kind of have some experience of climate change. So think of all of those when you're deciding to act. But the basic things to do is, first of all, go to countusin.org. Again, I hope that's appearing in the chat. So that's countusin divided by hyphens .org to do it. Sign up, decide which of the different actions that you can do, and then try and do that for 2 months. And then at the end of that time, you can check your progress and then perhaps decide to do something else. And all that time, I really hope that you'll be also trying to get other people to join in. So those things could be walk or cycle more. They could be just getting in the car a bit less will make a massive difference. Depending on how far you live, of course, how far you live away from. And then when you've decided to do that, then maybe you can take the do two journeys like that, or maybe every day of the week decide to do that same journey by walking or by cycling instead. And what a really key thing though is to sign up, just start doing something, and convince other people you know to do similar.
Yes, right, lovely. That was very informative. Thank you so much, Miss Sasha. I'm really amazed with your adventures. Now, do you have any final messages to give to our audiences?
Well, I suppose the key thing is, if nobody's got any questions for me about the kind of flying thing, I would just say that, climate does seem like a big thing if you look at the world, but think about how many people there are around the world, and if everybody tries to do a little bit, that would make a massive difference. Just think about how many of the people there are just in the South. Imagine if just all of them did something, the sort of impact you could have. But the other thing is, just also think about what good at. If you're really good at convincing people, maybe focus on that. The same way that I looked at the issues for birds and decided the thing that I could easily do is I speak a few languages, so I can stop and talk to people. I can turn a paramotor, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to and be their voice for them. So yeah, think about whatever you do, make sure you go to Countusin and join this campaign.
All right, thank you so much, Sasha, for your input. And we actually have a few questions, actually a lot of questions about the device that's standing behind you from you guys. So if you can give us a little bit more details about it, we would be really happy to hear.
Okay, so it's basically, can I move around? Is that okay?
Yes.
It's a pretty simple machine. It's basically just a backpack. So it's that. I could try and pick it up, but it's not in my house. I might just knock out light. It's a backpack with a propeller on the back. I think you can see that. And I basically put that on my back, and as I'm flying, I use this as the throttle, so it's just simple in your hand. And this is actually attached, so right now it just looks like a backpack, but when it's attached to a wing, when you are taking off, you run along the ground with the wing, and when the wing comes up behind you and it starts to fly, it actually lifts these handles up, and this piece of fabric at the bottom scoops up underneath your bottom, so it kind of becomes a seat, and that's how you start flying. So it's a pretty simple thing. The wing is attached to these loops here, and so when you're flying, attached to those loops and lots of fine lines up to the wing, you can feel what your wing is doing, a bit like a bird can. So that's basically it. It's a very simple machine, but it means you can take off and land by running on your feet, so you don't need runways and you can go anywhere.
Well, my heart was absolutely pounding while you were just explaining how to use that device. It's amazing. Thank you so much, Sasha.
Okay.
All right. So we are now going to move on. Thank you once again, Sasha, for joining us today. We had a lovely conversation, and I'm sure that a lot of our viewers enjoyed to have you here on our show.
Oh, great. And thank you very much for having me, and don't forget to go to the website.
Absolutely. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Back to you, Celeste.
And now we love connecting scouts on the show, so you have the chance to join us live. All you need to do is go to www.jotajoti.info/join-live, and you will be able to talk to us and a million scouts from all parts of the globe. We'll feature you live after we showcase some of our wonderful talents.
All right, and now we have our talent show. So Celeste, will you please introduce us the first talent?
Yes, definitely. We open our talent stage with our scout friends from Poland, the group Ohana. Ohana means family, and we scouts are a global family. They are going to sing us a song named Carpilia. Please welcome Ohana.
Cześć, jesteśmy harcerzami z Polski. Nasz zastępny nazywa się Ohana i zaśpiewamy piosenkę Carpe Diem. Rano dzisiaj stałem zimno, wodą zmyłem twarz. Gdy zerwałem jak parę, wokół mnie szumiący las. Założyłem lekki plecak, wziąłem w dłonie stary płaszcz. Powiedziałem sobie stary, komu drogę, temu czas. Dla mnie dzień, dla mnie los. Ja po prostu kocham życie, życie płynie jak we śnie. Raz jest dobrze, a raz źle. Słońce, siostrą, księżyc, bratem, droga. Azymutem życia, życie chwilą, ty miłością dla mnie to największy skarb. Nocowałem gdzie się dało, doszkoprywał tylko wiatr. Taki mnie budziły rano, bym wyruszał dalej świat. To zapytał dokąd idę, czy mam jakiś własny szlak. Karpę diem oczek i dodałem jeszcze tak. Dla mnie dzień, dla mnie noc. Ja po prostu kocham życie, życie płynie jak we śnie. Raz jest dobrze, a raz źle. Słońce, siostrą, księżyc, bratem, droga. Azymutem życia, życie chwilą, ty miłością dla mnie to największy skarb.
Amazing. That was an amazing performance, and Ohana, such a lovely word. Thank you so much, our group from Poland. Let's keep our ears open to a piano classical number performed by Jonathan Carbas from the USA. Enjoy.
Hello everyone, I'm Jonathan Carbas from Pack Music Tribe in Boca Raton, Florida in the United States. I'm 10 years old and the second year we below Scout. We'll be playing the Invention in D minor by Johann Sebastian Bach. Hope you enjoy it.
Hi, my name is Anne. I'm 10 years old. My name is Anne. I'm 10 years old. We are Girl Scout from Chanantro up Chan Scout Federation in Hanoi, Vietnam. I'm her sister. I'm younger sister. Today our skill is lying on the road. Bye-bye.
Girls, that was amazing. Well done. And Feriel, our scout friend from Tunisia, is going to sing for us now. Who knows? This might be a lovely lullaby for all of us. Let's check this out.
نهر صفا لحن رفا دو دو ري مي فا مي ري فا قلبي اصطفى الود شفا لقلوب تعشق الوفاء هم أصدقائي أعزائي هنا شلال حب يسكنه الغنى نرى غيوم مرآة للشمس تغطي البحر وتنادينا بهمس نشيدكم مدى وعهدكم صدى والورد والندى صوت يشدو الآن نبتدي بحبنا النادي بحثا عن الغد فأميرتو.
Alright, that was very lovely. Thank you so much, Fariel. And now moving on, our staff friends from Comoros will bring a super nice song. If you can sing along with them,
Guys, how are you? Here, half full voice card from Moros. We're speaking gourmet, and we're gonna present you Shishalosa. Let's go. Shishalosa, Shishalosa, Kulezuntaga, Stimila, Stimesora. Shishalosa, Shishalosa, Kulezuntaga, Stimila, Stimesora.
So right, Celeste, it was hard not to move around into your chair. Such a lovely melody. Thank you, Scouts from Comoros. The Scout unity makes us stronger. The next video shows us how we truly are a Scouting family. In August this year, an explosion made a massive destruction.
Notre sincère solidarité.
A scout group from France decided to support their sisters and brothers in Scouting by creating a song for them. Let's
En voyant votre vie brisée et toutes ces histoires disparues.
Ne perdez surtout pas espoir, car bientôt derrière ces grilles, vous pourrez apercevoir le soleil sur votre beau pays. Nous partageons alors votre vœu, celui d'un bonheur retrouvé, avec ce que l'on sait faire de mieux, composer et chanter. A breath of future with you, there's nothing you cannot do. If you need some love, we are here, but if we were nowhere near, never long we'll soon recover. A greater shout it truly is. It's time to dream more than ever. The sea that rising from its ashes. A breath of future with you, there's nothing you cannot do. If you need some love, we are here, but if we went nowhere near, never long we'll soon recover. A greater shout it truly is. It's time to dream more than ever. The sea that rising from its ashes. Dans ce moment compliqué, tous ensemble, à vos côtés. Nos voix résonnent en écho, afin de vous porter plus haut. Chantez la force que vous avez et votre envie d'avancer. Nos pensées se tournent vers vous.
Même si toi des murs sommeillent, même si foi des joies faiblissent, votre courage comme une boussole vers des sourires qui vous unissent. Des milliers de bras qui se lèvent pour accomplir ce beau rêve, reconstruire plus qu'une nation, mais un avenir à l'unisson.
A breath of future with you, there's nothing you cannot do. If you need some love, we are here, but if we went nowhere near, never long we'll soon recover. A greater shout it truly is. It's time to dream more than ever. The sea that rising from its ashes.
Great man near death, who still is blind inside, blind eyes could blaze like meteors in decay. Rage against the tide of light, and you, my father, there in that sad height, curse, blessing now with your few tears. I pray, do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light.
People, I can really feel hope, love, and enthusiasm from that video. I'm so happy to see that video. Thank you so much for sharing that. And now moving on, as promised, we will take calls from some scouts waiting for us here on our Zoom call. Yay, that was very lovely. And now, so let's welcome. And thank you for joining JotaJoti Live. We now welcome our first guest. Who could it be? So excited. Hi! Hi, I see that your name is Stephanie. Stephanie, right?
Hola, hello. Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, Stephanie. How are you?
Hi. Hola. I'm very good. What about you guys?
Oh, great.
Very good. Thank you.
Now, we're going to ask a bunch of questions. I hope you're going to answer them really, great. And, and of course, our first question is, what are your hobbies as scout and as student or whatever it is? What's your hobbies?
Well, my hobbies are pretty much, I like to go biking a lot, and I like to go and where I live, there's a lot of volcanoes, so I pretty much like to go and go climb the volcanoes or something in the natural.
Well, that's very challenging, and I really like that hobby. I hope I can do that sometime too. Do you want to send a message in your own language to people who are watching us right now?
Sure. A todos le doy un saludos a todos y pues que vivan mucho esta experiencia muy bonito. Siempre es bonito ser parte de una asociación donde uno puede aprender. Always, I encourage everybody to be creative and being a scout, even if you're most older age, is something that you take for life.
Great. Now, Stephanie, can you tell us how long have you been into the world of scouting? Are you enjoying it? Of course, you are enjoying it, but can you tell us how long have you been into the scouting world?
I've been in the scouting world since 2002.
Wow.
Yes. So pretty much I've been my entire life. Even I went for a little bit, and because I live in El Salvador, but I'm from the United States. So when I was in the United States, I get to be a Girl Scout also. So I think I have a little bit more. But it's been a journey, and it has changed a lot of things, a lot of perspective, and I have learned a lot to be able to be more independent and do a lot of things, that the Scout showed me to do.
Yes, lovely. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for joining us here on our Zoom call. I hope you're going to enjoy the rest of our JotaJoti live shows. Thank you so much.
All right, and now let's connect with our next scout. Hello.
Hello there. Glad to
How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Okay. Can you tell us your name and where you're from?
My name is Alexander, and I'm calling from Scotland.
Okay, Alexander, we're so happy to have you. Nice to meet you as well. All right. Now, could you please tell us how long have you been in scouting, Alexander?
So probably since 2008. So for the last 12 years I've been in scouting.
Oh, wow. Very good. Okay, and Alexander, could you please tell us something about your uniform? It looks very nice. I particularly love your waffle.
Yeah, so I'm actually part of the American Scouts, and the woggle is the Eagle Scout woggle, some of which we met yesterday on the live show. And then the other uniform behind me is actually a Sea Scout uniform. I'm in several programs within American Scouts.
All right, very interesting. Thank you for that input. Now, could you please tell us also what are your hobbies, Alexander?
I'm quite an outdoorsy person as well, so I like climbing, skiing, cycling, camping, of course. Those are the ones I like the best.
Exciting. And my final question for you, how many countries did you speak to through JotaJoti?
Probably I couldn't count how many I've met.
That's the right answer. We want to hear those answers because you can speak to so many countries through JotaJoti. All right, Alexander, thank you so much for joining us in today, and have a lovely rest of your weekend.
Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Alexander. And now, moving on to our next guest, or to our next scout here, who is joining us here in Zoom. Let's connect to another scout. Who could it be? Who could it be? It's Nang V. Ling. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
Now, can you please tell us from which country you are?
Alright, I'm Viling. I'm from Malaysia.
Oh. Yes, shout out to all of our friends from Malaysia. You guys are very great and very humble and very nice. Now, can you please tell us how long you've been here in the world of scouting?
Alright, I joined Scout since in the age of 13, and until now, so it's been like 7 years.
Lovely. Now, and can you please tell us in that 7 years, what was the most memorable experience you have been through in scouting?
Alright, for me, the most memorable is the camping activities.
Yes, exactly. You know, in every camping activities, we get to experience a lot of things. We get to meet new people, and of course, can I share mine too? I like camping too, as much as you do, because yeah. And how do you do camping in Malaysia? Do you also like do a national camping, like a big camping?
Yeah, we do have.
Oh, great! Now, for the last question, what is your message to all of our fellow scouts in Malaysia and all of those who are tuning in right now? Any message?
I will tell all the Scouts members just enjoy all the fun in the Scouts, everything they have, because of the Scout events and activities are all fun. Just enjoy it.
Yes, definitely. Are you enjoying it? I hope so. Yes, we are all enjoying it, right? Thank you so much for joining us here. I hope you will enjoy the rest of our activities here in JotaJoti. Thank you so much. I'm Lee of Malaysia. Bye.
Thank you so much and bye-bye. Alright, isn't it amazing to be meeting scouts like us from everywhere in the world, Celeste? I absolutely love it.
Of course. Definitely, it really is. And it reminds us how big of a family scouting is. Now, talking about scouts around the world, let's show more talented young people. We all love that, of course. And of course, we would like to remind everyone that you can vote for your favorite talents through commenting it down on our FB Live or in our YouTube Live, yes? And now we move on to our next talent.
Alright, so who loves rock music? You will definitely enjoy the next performance by our friend from Mexico. Let's rock this out with Angel Gonzalez.
dancing right in here. That was very lovely. Thank you so much, Angel Gonzalez. That was really amazing and I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. I hope to, hear about that on the next shows again. And now next we have is Ella Abdul Kadir from Turkey, and she will be playing a piano melody. Hum with her if you know the melody. Ella, you go, girl.
Alright, well done, Ella. Okay, next up we have Raquel Zuniga from Honduras, and she will mesmerize all of us with her skills in crayon sketching. Okay, take it away.
Hola, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Raquel Zúñiga, soy miembro activo del grupo H44 Honduras, miembro del clan Quetzales. En esta tarde les vengo a presentar un poco de lo que me apasiona, el talento, que será una pintura con la técnica de pastel de grasos y mezcla con pastel seco sobre cartulina. Espero les guste y lo disfruten.